Now we all know why you clicked on this video, but you're gonna have to wait because it's day 3 of the press up challenge. Okay, now that the order of business is done and we're all comfortable, let's get into the story. I can't remember what day it was, but it was a day like any other. We were at home, probably my siblings, the help, my grandma was there at the time, and we were just playing as usual, left to our own devices with our toys, and yeah. Little man comes across a box of crayons, and I was very adventurous as a kid, and I picked up these crayons. I tried to taste them, and it was wasn't that nice. So for some reason I decided it was a good idea to stick these things up my nose, and I tried it, stuck it up halfway, like, okay, how far can this thing go up? And eventually I stuck the whole thing like up my nose, and you could feel it, but it wasn't coming out. And as a kid, you're panicking, this thing is sticking out your nose, you can't get it out. I tried to pull it out, but then it broke, and now I'm really panicking because I don't know what's gonna happen. Next thing, I'm in the house running around hysterically with a broken crayon sticking out of my nose, and no one knows what's going on. There's just a kid running around crying because obviously I'm not explaining myself, but I'm just crying and confused, and I don't know what's going on. So after some time, they managed to hold me down and figure out what happened, but they don't know what to do. So everybody huddles around me. What do we do? How do we help the kid? Who left those crayons there? Even doing with the crayon in his nose in the first place? What if it's stuck there permanently and he has to breathe through one nostril for the rest of his life? Eventually, after all the chaos and the madness, my grandma sends one of them to go get a cigarette, and she was very puzzled and perplexed like everybody else was, but she went anyways. A few minutes later, she came back with the cigarette in hand, passed it to my grandma, who then lit it. And at this point, everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen. At this point, everybody's looking at her like, is that the most responsible thing to do right now? And I did as I was asked, so I took a puff. As soon as I took a puff, she closed my mouth and my nostril, and lo and behold, I started sneezing, and this crayon just popped right up my nose. And that was it. So that is the story of how I had my first cigarette, and it was actually to save my life. So thank you, Grandma.